Hello everybody, welcome back to the Little Shop of Hoarders and the PDX Picker channel. I am Chris. We are going to pull a few orders, mostly just give updates about what's going on reselling wise for me, some updates on a pretty exciting sale that I hope to be making soon, some updates on a previous video, my last video that I just released got a really funny comment. Just wanted to put it up front and bring it to everyone's attention because I just think it's kind of hilarious. But stick around after the intro song. We'll get to those topics and more. See you soon.
Wanna buy that Farrah Fawcett poster? There's dispensers and a toaster. Don't know why. That kind of stuff you throw away. I'll sell on eBay.
So I'm just going to start off with my May results. Today's June 4th. So we're obviously a couple of days removed from May, but I'm happy with May. May turned out to be pretty good, even though I don't know. I don't understand why exactly. The only thing I can think of is I just finally started to get better inventory to list. But the final results for the month were total sales on all the platforms, $4,466, the vast majority of that coming on eBay, with Poshmark a distant second place. That's pretty good. I definitely am happy with anything above $4,000, and that turned out to be obviously well past it, $466. So, but as I mentioned, I don't know exactly why May ended up being so much better than April and March. Pretty consistently doing the same things. The only thing I can guess is there's a time period, at least in my area, where it's before the yard sales start, but it's after I think the bulk of people make donations to thrift stores. I just don't think a lot of donations are made to thrift stores in the early parts of the year. I think most people, or many people, wait until the end of the year to do a lot of their thrift store donations to try and ensure they get that charitable donation deduction for their taxes. This is all theory, speculation, could be completely wrong. But anyway, after those donations come in and then the donations start drying up a bit, the thrift stores don't really have as much inventory to put out. And for me, sourcing in the Northwest here, the months of January through April, the entire month, primarily thrift stores and estate sales are the only thing that I can rely on for sourcing wise. So when I'm going to primarily to thrift stores and they just don't have as much inventory donated to them, well, I guess in theory that means I'm not going to find as much to resale. I don't know. I don't know if that's the reason, but it is. It's happened 2 years in a row where I've had pretty slow Marches. Marches for sure have been slow in both years. April was better last year than this year, and then my May finally starts creeping up in terms of the good results. So I don't know. Does that sound crazy? Does that sound like maybe it has a little bit of potential in terms of a viable theory? Let me know what you all think out there. I only sold the last part of my Ninja Blender purchase. I priced this one up a little high. So this was $5 was this cost for this piece. I've spent $20 on everything. This sold for $44.99, free shipping. These are my least favorite parts to ship. I mean, I have to put it in a 12 by 12 by 12 because that's the only thing that will fit. But I did decide to include the blender, not the blender, the blade in this purchase because in the past I've tried to separate that out and it rarely, if ever, sells. So include the blade with the picture. Maybe it incentivizes somebody to choose that listing over the picture that doesn't have the blade. I don't know. It took the longest to sell, but it did sell for a good price. It'll be about $12, $13 to ship, probably. So we can essentially say $30 on that one. Almost all of my items today have free shipping in them. Probably because most of what I am listing lately is free shipping. And in general, usually the stuff you list most recently, at least for me, that's what sells a lot quicker because those are usually the stuff that's been listed for a while, there must be a reason it's been listed for a while. It's probably not as desirable as some of the stuff that you're just listing. Needless to say, I think 9 of the 10 things that I'm pulling today, or at least 8 of them, are free shipping. So far, this test is working for me. Commenter on my last video when I talked about me using this free shipping strategy test, they made a comment about how, why are you giving away shipping? Why are you subsidizing the shipping costs for the buyer? You should make the buyer pay it, and that way you're, because otherwise I'm making less money on my sales. I guess maybe I didn't make it clear, but so, like, for example, this is $44.99 free shipping. If I had listed this with shipping, I probably would have listed it for $35 plus $10 shipping. So it's going to come out to be the same price overall. I still take in the same amount of income, same amount of revenue. I just adjust the price accordingly to build in the shipping cost into the price, and then just label it as free shipping. I mean, that's obviously what Amazon does, and anytime where you see free shipping on any sort of a product, the price of the shipping is built into the price. The whole point of it is it's a psychological thing for people that they don't want to. Some people don't want to feel as if they're buying the product and paying for shipping on the top. When you label it free shipping, even though you're including the price of shipping in the cost, sometimes psychologically, I think it just works for some people. So hopefully that clears that up for any of you that may have been confused about that. This sold, it's a Google Nest Mini. Picked this up for $4.99 at my thrift. No, I bought this for $5 at a yard sale. It is open box. No, it's used. I don't know why I'm having a real tough time. Anyway, that sold for $34.99 free shipping. It's that blue color there. Tested it out. Works good. If you do sell these, you probably should factory reset them just to make it easier for the buyer. It's really simple to do that. You see those 4 white circles on the top there? If you just plug it in, press and hold where those circles are, just basically go like this and hold for, 4, 5, 6 seconds. It'll say, if you could continue to press this button, you're going to factory reset your Google Nest. Well, you want to just keep doing that. That way, any settings, any Wi-Fi settings, anything like that have been saved in there will be cleared out for the next buyer. So as I mentioned, I have a item that hopefully will be selling very shortly because it's up for auction, and I'm pretty excited about it. I had no idea really how much to price this. Well, that's not true. I kind of had an idea to price it, but in reality I was going to price it much lower than I probably should have. That didn't make any sense, but anyway, this is what it is right here. This is a super big bolo. For those, I think I talked about it in a couple videos in the past, but I want to bring it up again. I don't know how common these are. They're not, I think there's 3 listed right now on eBay, so it's not like, I think it is just that rare. But it's just a darn Sony Disc Man, it's a vintage 90s Sony Disc Man. But this is the D555 model. You probably can't see that. This is kind of the Rolls Royce of Sony Disc Mans. As far as I know, this is the most desirable, highest priced, highest valued vintage Sony Disc Man that is out there. If this is in working condition, it's worth north of $1,500, which it blows my mind. I mean, I do not know anything about the components of this, but to me this just looks like a little bit different version of the Sony Discmans I saw all over the place in high school and out and about in the 90s that people would go to, whatever store and buy it for $50 back in the day. And to think that nowadays some version of that, albeit I think back then it was probably $400 new. The fact that it's worth so much money now is mind-blowing. Well, I don't have the power adapter for this. And because it's so valuable, I didn't want to just plug in some rando AC adapter. I think it might have a universal plug on it, but I didn't want to risk it, so I just ended up listing this for parts only, not working, untested. I did pay $125 for this. This was at an estate sale. It was the only thing I ended up buying there, but I drove all the way up, about 45 minutes away, hopefully just to buy that item, and I did. I paid $125 for it. It's on auction. One sold a few months ago for $350 in this same condition, untested. You know, no idea what the condition is. But then there was another one. I want to list this on May 29th, and I saw that another one had just ended that day on auction, sold for $660 plus shipping. Same exact, you know, untested, no AC adapter, as is. There are a couple others that are listed as parts only. They have some functionality to them. They turn on but don't play or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, long story long, I decided I'm going to put this one up for auction. There's about a day and a half left. The current bid is $355. So by the time I film the next video, the auction will have ended. I'm hoping it goes higher than that. I would love for it to be over $400. $500 would be amazing. I think if I sell it for over $500, that's got to be up there in the top 2 or 3 most expensive things that I have sold on eBay. So that is cool, and the time is coming out short. So if you're at all interested in buying this, I'm going to hopefully upload this video in a couple of hours. You can try and track it down and put a bid in on there. This next item, bread and butter in terms of boringness. Found this for $15 at a yard sale, and it's a black Berkey water filter. There's a 2-pack in here. I don't know why these are special, but this sold for $59.99 free shipping. Cost me about $10 to ship, so let's say $50. Sold in about 2 or 3 days. Black Berkey water purifiers. I think they're just very high quality. That was a good pickup. Turns out I have 3 items that had shipping separate, not free shipping. This next one is one of them. This one, I bought 3, I think it was 3 Orbee routers. They're Netgear Orbee routers. The other 2 sold really fast for like $65. Paid $5 each. This one took a lot longer. Sold for $34.99. This is like the hub. The other ones are like the satellites, and people can buy the satellites and add them on to an existing system that they have. Well, this one, if you're just selling the hub only, I'm assuming either your hub broke or something, but anyway, $34.99 plus $10 shipping on that one. As I mentioned, took quite a while to sell, less than 120 days, but still a really good pickup. So you just have to do a little research on which is which based off of the model number on there. But any of these Orbees, they're this shape. That's the logo on there. Super, super, super quick sellers on that one. I thought I had a Poshmark sale, which I haven't sold too many things on Poshmark lately, probably because I haven't been doing a lot of cross-listing on there. But I thought I had a sale today, and I went to pull it, and turns out I sold it in June of 2024. So this happens every now and then, pretty rarely, but still often enough that it's kind of annoying. This is one of the main drawbacks to cross-listing, even though I use Vendoo, and 95 times out of 100, they do a great job of, if an item sells, they will automatically delist it from all the other platforms it may be on. Every now and then, certain items slip through the cracks. I thought I had sold a Marmot windbreaker for $20, but as I mentioned, I sold it a year ago on eBay. So that was a bummer, and definitely, I think that's probably the biggest downside to cross-listing, is every now and then an item will not get delisted and will sell on another platform. I think this is my second one of these, or it might be my last one. Actually, it's my last one. This NRS kayak thigh straps. Bought for $7.99 at Goodwill, new in the package, and this last one sold for $49.90, free shipping. That was a day that I just had a lot of good luck when it came to sourcing sporting goods at Goodwill. Speaking of sourcing sporting goods, a few weeks back I bought I think 10 different golf clubs for $2.95 each at one of the thrift stores in the area, and I think 5 of the clubs I decided I was going to keep for myself. I needed to upgrade my irons, I thought. I went out and played around on Monday with my dad, and they're too short. They are too short for me. So I now have 5 more clubs that I'm going to be able to list here shortly, which is a bummer because I was excited to get some nicer, newer clubs than the ones I have, but I didn't figure it out for the longest time, but I was playing absolutely disgustingly horrible when I was out there. And it's because these clubs are like this much shorter than my previously used clubs, and that really messed me up. So bad news on one hand, I do not get to get some cheap replacement clubs to use, but the good news is I'll have some more things to sell. They're Nike slingshot irons, so I should be able to sell them for about probably $25 each or so. Like I said, bought them for $2.95. This little guy sold. It's a Rebel X-Wing pilot from a Lego set. Picked this up in a lot of other toys. Don't remember where. Basically paid 50 cents for it, and that sold for $10.99 free shipping. Some of these minifigures, this one's not really a great one, but man, some of them can be very valuable. We're going to ride the Wi-Fi net router train a little bit more. This is the second one of these that I have sold. I'm gonna have to set this down. TP-Link Deco, I think it's an M9 or M5, M9 Plus. Picked this up for $5.99 at the thrift store. No power adapter, so it's just this. And that sold for $22.75 plus shipping. I think I'd sent out a 5% offer on that or something. But these Wi-Fi router mesh network things lots of times are very good things to resell, because like I said, if somebody has one of these existing at home, maybe one breaks down or they want to expand it and they just need to add one of these, and there's good value in those. So my last video, I got to talk about this funny comment. This person might watch it. I'm not trying to be mean, so I hope it doesn't come across that way. It's just interesting. So my previous video I talked about, well, the title of the video itself is, "It's absolutely maddening that eBay does this." What I was talking about is how it seems like their algorithm doesn't always it should promote good sellers all the time, not cherry pick random times where it seems to promote your store and or promote your listings, and other times it doesn't. By promote, I don't mean like advertise, but have your listings show up higher in the search results. But a little behind the scenes when it comes to me making these videos, I like to have natural thumbnails. And what I mean by that is I like to have a real screenshot from the actual video itself. I don't like it as much if I do like a funny, freaky face where I just, like right now where I'm going to go like, and then I take a picture of it and use that for my thumbnail or anything like that. So that's just what I prefer to do. Sometimes I have to do it that way where I take a photo and use it, but other times, like this last video, I found a screenshot of me making, I can't remember what the context was, but I was making a face where I was going like, ew. And I thought, oh, well, that would be a funny shot to use for the thumbnail. And then to go along with that face I was making, I put the words, "eBay, you disgust me." Didn't really go exactly with the title, which was, "It's absolutely maddening that eBay does this," but I just thought it was funny. Well, for whatever reason, this commenter has taken issue with it. He said, "Same old story, different day. eBay, you disgust me is the title for clicking. Will you stop?" He says, "Will you stop using eBay? No. Will you sell on other platforms because they are so disgusting? No. Still listing on eBay and making almost changes. Not very disgusting. Laughing emoji. I didn't even know what to think about that. I kind of thought maybe he was joking at first, but it seemed my thumbnail seemed to really trigger him. And then saying eBay, you disgust me, really seemed to trigger him. So my only reply, because I didn't really want to get into it with him, was just a skull dead emoji. Basically saying, I mean, I kind of found the comment a little bit funny. And then he replied right away, PDX Picker, prove me wrong. I'd like to see a video where you do Mercari, Facebook Live, whatever that is, Whatnot, Poshmark, something else, and compare and contrast your experiences with day-to-day eBay selling. It would make me support your eBay criticisms more because you are actually trying something outside the eBay platform. Yeah, I do cross-list. Obviously, the reason why all of us primarily use eBay is because it is by far the most buyer-heavy site. If Mercari if I had nearly as many sales on Mercari as I did on eBay, I'd certainly primarily try and sell on Mercari. Same with Poshmark. I don't sell on Whatnot because I don't do live selling. Facebook Live, I don't know. I've never heard of that. I don't know if he's trying to refer to Facebook Marketplace or is now Facebook doing live auctions. Either way, not going to do that. But the interesting part is he would say, it would make me support your eBay criticisms more because you're actually trying something outside the eBay platform. Why does he think that my goal is to get his support? I don't really care about your support. I'm merely stating how I feel about eBay in this particular scenario. But just thought that was a funny comment. And I'm not sure how many of you saw it, so I wanted to get the word out because it was crazy. I sold a Bona wood oil, but it's one of the garnet color, which is the one that I have the most of left because I hadn't sold one yet. This one, for some reason, I paid $2.95 a can for, which is, I think, the highest I paid for any of these Bona wood oils. And these ones have the least value, and they're the least desirable. So I had lowered the price on these just naturally to $49.95, and then because they're so old, they ended up in my 35% off sale. So this sold for $32 and something. $32.47 plus shipping, which is still off of the $3 purchase. Still a great profit. So I can't complain about that. I just don't know how long it's going to take to sell these because I have 8 more of those. So it's going to take a long time. This I picked up for $2 and it sold quite quickly. $19.99 free shipping, or $20.99 free shipping. It is a Rapala J Martini Old Finnish fishing fillet knife. They make these new still. These are, I don't know. This is a smaller one, so the bigger ones can be a little more valuable. $20.99. Free shipping on that one, so not too bad for $2. And the last item of the day, this is another older storage unit sale. I pulled this out. I didn't know what it was going to do. This is a Krups hand mixer. There were, I think, 2 or 3 listed. I don't know if any of them had sold recently. And this one was kind of beat up. It's just got some storage scratches on it. Tested it out, still works really well. That sold for $24.99 free shipping, so probably be $12 to ship it. So it's not very valuable, but I like to just think of this as, for the most part, unless the item is just completely undesirable or something really wrong with it, if you just price something the right way, it's still going to sell. So the others that were listed were priced for like $40 plus shipping. This is a lot more inexpensive, and so even though it doesn't look the nicest, somebody still bought it, and they bought it. That was like maybe a week ago that I listed that, so it sold very quickly. Obviously, if I had a lot into it, if I spent $12-15 on it, it would be tough to sell it for $25 free shipping. But Sunk costs, already purchased it in the shipping container from a year and a half ago or so. So I mean, I calculated, I've made all my money back on that, so it's all gravy at this point, all profit. So even though it was only 10, 12 bucks of profit, still not too bad. The big thing is it's going out the door. One less thing to store, and it came out of my death pile too, which is another win. Thanks so much to HarleyGal143. If you're interested in becoming a member of the channel, you'll get a shout out every video. It's just a small monthly way to support the channel, and it would be really appreciated. So thank you again, HarleyGal143. Thanks all of you for watching. Please like this video if you did, or downvote it if you didn't. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you want to get more content like this in the future. Good luck with all of your ventures out there, reselling or otherwise. We'll catch you on the next video. So take care. Bye-bye.